For decades, nestled in between McClin Insurance and Clapp Motors has sat 303 East South Street. The location has been dormant for as long as we can remember and so full of trees and brush that this little hidden gem went almost unnoticeable. Unnoticeable, that is, until Brian Heiler came along.
This is actually 303 East South Street. I used to drive by this building and would always look at it and thought that it would make a nice shop. And that's been over 15 years ago. It just so happened I never saw anything happen and never would see anybody around. And I came by one day to get my morning coffee. I saw somebody out mowing lawn. And so I turned around right away. I came back and happened to talk to them, and just on a whim to see whether they would possibly be ever interested in selling it, that I had drove by and saw this. And like I say, that's over 15 years ago. So I talked back and forth with him for, it seemed like probably 2 or 3 years. And at that time I decided he probably was not ready to sell and it wasn't going to happen. So we kind of moved on. It was quite a few years after that. We found the building over on Adams that we have now. And so we've got that all set up and we were set to go. And this building just kind of went out of my mind. We weren't looking at it at all. I come by one day and saw a sign, auction, absolute auction. And I just thought, wow, this would be interesting, just to see what the building would go for. And I got home and I said to my wife, I said, guess what I saw today? And her first words were out of her mouth were, your building's for sale. I told my wife, I said, well, I got to go to the auction just to see what it goes for. She says, well, you want to buy the building. I said, I don't need another building. Up to the day of the auction, I had been crunching numbers, thinking, well, what if I did buy it? How much could I spend? We parked up here on Carroll Street, and we got out, and when we got out, my wife says, so how high are you going to bid? And I wasn't getting carried away, and I threw her a number that I had come up with. I said, but don't plan on buying a building. It's not going to happen. So we came down here. There was quite a few people. And Doug Monday, he's always a good character, fun at an auction. And I gave my last bid. That's as high as I was going. And after I bid that, I thought to myself, okay, I think I'll go one more. I'm going to go one, and you just go one more. Well, in the process of thinking all this, he rattled off and he said sold. And it actually sold for exactly what I told my wife when we got out of the car. I could not believe it. Totally shocked me was that I gave my wife the exact amount, and that's exactly where it stopped, and it sold. And the only thing I could think is it had to be, For some reason, I was meant to buy this building. It was a lot of trees. When we first bought it, to tell people where we were at, they said, well, there isn't a building there, They couldn't picture it. It just blended in so well. So taking a look at it, it just had the small horseshoe driveway. If you had one vehicle parked here and another one came, somebody had to move or back out of the way. There was no parking. After looking at everything, we looked at what trees we needed to take down to help expand the parking lot and make it a good usable piece of property. We cleaned out the back. It was a lot of work. My wife kept telling me, she says, you work too much over there. I said, when I go over there, that's my playtime. I had fun over here. Just between, clearing everything out, getting us some parking. We've started to do some remodeling inside. I'm not one to just patch. I mean, we could have put a paint job on it and got by. We could have done a lot of stuff. I'm to the point where we're going to do everything. I want the energy efficient windows, re-insulate it, re-side it. I want it to look new. And I mean, this street here is a main road coming into Freeport. And I think, like my wife said, we bought this. It's our responsibility to make it look good for Freeport. I want to put my showroom over here so I can display our appliances, get more into our used appliances again. I want to put in a parts department so that we have parts available for people to come in. I want to be able to have somebody here so that we can be open during the day. The current building we have, it's, call if you need a space. We're out on service calls. I haven't taken that next step. I think with having this building is going to give me the opportunity, or I should say me and my wife, our opportunity to do that. So that's what we're going to set up. And after the inquiries and stuff that we've gotten, we are going to put in a small gaming lounge on the other side, which of course we'll have the 5 gaming machines, just a small bar. We're looking at that to help enhance my other business I have. We can both help each other out. Just a little place, quiet place to come, sit down, relax. I'm currently looking right now at wanting to hire another service tech for repairing appliances. And actually, I'm probably going to be looking for at least 2. So I'm going to need at least 2 of those. I'm going to be wanting someone that's going to be able to answer the phones, take care of the parts department, and the appliances and stuff that we have in there. So as far as the gaming side, I'm going to need somebody to work that, to help manage that. We're hoping to expand this, create jobs, and bring people on board with us.